Hello, everyone, and welcome to the next episode of the JJSports podcast. I'm Josh.
I'm Joey.
And Joey, the day has finally arrived that the NBA season is going to start December 22nd, 2020. We didn't know that we would get here with the pandemic, especially the way last season came to an end, but we finally have gotten to this point. And I don't think there's any better way to kick off the season for the NBA with our podcast regarding that than to do some pick'ems for the opening night. What do you think?
Right. So before we get into that, let's just quickly just recap the preseason. Lakers obviously went 4-0. Other teams did not do as well, but one of our teams that we pulled for, the Knicks, actually went 3-1 in their games. So pretty exciting thing to look forward to. Hopefully it's not a fluke. With all that being said, now we're getting into the real season, and for tonight we have only two games. Some very interesting games. So we got, first of all, the Warriors versus the Nets. So who are you picking for this game, Josh?
Warriors versus the Nets. I know what I want to take, but I also know what's probably the wrong pick. You know, I, I'm gonna I'm gonna throw it up in the air. I'll go with the Nets on this one.
Really?
Yeah, you know.
Is
I
there any
mean, look,
reason?
Golden State has their players, but at the same time, the Warriors were not exactly, the Warriors last year for what we know them as. And I'm not saying that's going to carry over, but you got to keep in mind still no Klay Thompson. You're going to have, guys like Wiggins and Draymond Green are going to step up big time. I'm sure Steph Curry will come out and do exactly what he does every single game, every night. But I just, I'll throw it up in the air. While I would like to pick Golden State, I'm going to go with the Nets here.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. That's the call. So Josh says the Nets, and while I do hear what you're saying, they did lose Clay, but I don't know, man. I don't believe in fool's gold. Like John Wall did great in preseason, and so did KD. He looked pretty good, but you have to admit something. It might be a game, but it's preseason. Like a lot of people aren't trying hard, and you're not even playing against the best.
Yeah.
You're like it's just not. It's not the same. So until I start seeing like a streak of just like dominance from KD, I don't think it's like a lock. I'm gonna pull for the Warriors because I think they still have Steph. They still have Draymond, and who knows what James Wiseman could do, with the ball in his hands. I don't.
That's
I'm not
that's fair. But I
thinking.
also just want to say though that maybe you point out something good, like maybe Durant wasn't playing super hard. Maybe other players weren't playing super hard against a guy like Kevin Durant, especially coming back from an Achilles tear. But I will tell you that maybe he's playing against his former team, and they didn't want to bring him back. Like maybe he really wants to work hard and he's motivated to really just do everything he can to make sure that the Nets win this game so that the Warriors won't, obviously. That's what I would think at least. I know that it's not going to be the same Durant coming off a serious injury, but that's another one of the reasons why I would have to take the Nets in this game.
Huh. Okay, so and now what about the other matchup, which should be very interesting? Battle of the Lake Part One: Clippers versus Lakers. Who do you got in this game?
I was gonna say that home court doesn't matter 100% because the fans aren't coming into play, and either way, it wouldn't really matter because the Clippers and Lakers share Staples Center. So, all that aside, I mean, it doesn't really mean anything, but just for the thought, I honestly want to say that I think the Clippers could pull this upset off. I feel like the Lakers, even though they are probably, if not definitely, the favorite to win it all again this year with LeBron and Anthony Davis, and you brought in Dennis Schroeder and Marc Gasol still. I want to say that I think the Clippers are the team that's going to win this game. I think that Kawhi is fueled after a short exit in last season's playoffs after carrying a team, or not carrying completely, but really being a huge part of taking a team with not a ton of talent to the NBA Finals and winning it against a superior team in the Warriors. And I think that the Lakers might have a little bit of a hangover effect from winning their title. It's actually a fun fact to know is that in sports, most of the time you're gonna get that the team that wins the championship of the World Series or the Stanley Cup, whatever you want to call it, whatever the finals round is of the postseason that crowns the champions of that season, is not always the guaranteed winner. You look at the Warriors last season; their season went way downhill after, not sorry, 2 years ago, when they were still great, but after winning it by a landslide, it didn't come so easy for them, with all injuries and everything. So I think the Clippers are going to win this game, and I won't be surprised if the Lakers do. But I think Kawhi can shut LeBron down personally. I'm interested to see that matchup.
Yeah, it's very interesting you point that out. And I did say about preseason. Fact is, Lakers swept those boys in preseason, but again, might not have been to their full ability. Maybe they weren't trying as hard. But then I think about other things, like how in one of those games they beat them without AD and LeBron. And I just imagine myself, now what's this team going to look like when they have all their guys? And they lost a lot of players. They lost Dwight, Boogie, Rondo. Those big parts of their championship, But they said, screw it. We're gonna switch on the fly. So they traded all those guys in for Dennis Schroeder and Marc Gasol, who I think are and Montrezl Harrell. So they got 2 6-man of the year guys and a very capable starter still in this NBA. Not too far removed from a championship. So it's they got a lot of experience. A good playoff experience guys on their team. So I don't know, you can't count out the champs until they lose. So I'm pulling with the Lakers. And that's those are today's matchups. Those are the only games today. So what do you want to do from now?
I think that's all we really have for the NBA. It's nice, we'll keep it short. There's not much going on.
And I think we're ready to move on. We're ready to move on. So let's get into baseball. So we're talking free agency because the stove hasn't been so hot recently. So we're just going over three agencies that happened. So which one do you want to talk about? The big one first, or what do you want?
I mean, to me, this one was big.
But do you want to talk about that one first or last, or what?
Yeah. I'll let you handle the other one, Joey.
No, I'm saying I'm gonna announce it, but you could, but I just want to know which one.
Well, I'd like the one for my team.
So do you want to do that first?
Yeah, you can. I'll save you the rest.
Okay, so you go.
All right. So obviously this did not happen this past week. This actually happened a week or two ago. But last week Joey wanted to do something different in the MLB, which I think was a very worthy cause in talking about the decision Rob Manfred made with the Negro League to add those players who played in that league due to restrictions to MLB history, which, of course, again, to reiterate, was an amazing decision by him. But anyway, to catch up on some things, and this has been my favorite move of the offseason, or one of my 2 favorite moves of the offseason, and that is that the New York Mets have finally went out and signed their first non-pitcher player, and that is the former catcher of the Chicago White Sox, James McCann, on a 4-year deal for $40 million. And I think that this is a great, great signing for them. I really think that it'll benefit them in the long run, even though they're one of those teams that does not need to save up as much money now because they're in the best position because, A, they have the richest owner in baseball, and B, because of now having Steve Cohen as an owner, he was not a full-time owner like most of the other teams have now. All the other teams have, where he did not lose money the same way the rest of the MLB teams did. And so you come in with a guy who who is the richest owner in all of baseball, and the fact he didn't lose money last season, and you go out and you sign a guy for James McCann, $40 million is not a bad price at all for him. And I think when I say save money, it means that now if the Mets want to go and try to pursue JT Realmuto, not JT Realmuto, sorry, George Springer or Trevor Bauer, I think that's definitely more likely for them to do now that they didn't end up spending $20-25 million plus a year on a JT Realmuto. Because if they wanted Realmuto instead, this contract of $40 million for 4 years could have been 4 times as much for all we know. So anyway, that's my thoughts on it. I'm very excited. I'm happy for him, and hopefully, they'll be able to do something special with him.
Yeah, very interesting signing. It's good business, Waiting for Real Muto would have just screwed your team, because he doesn't want to leave Philly. He does want money, but he doesn't want to leave Philly. So it would have just been like a ridiculous move, especially to pay him a ton of money, even though you can. It's just not good business. So this is a guy who can do the things you need. He doesn't have to. You don't need the best catcher. You just need a capable one. So
he, in my opinion, and I think in most baseball fans' opinion, he's probably a top 10 catcher. Not probably. I would say he's definitely a top 10 catcher in the MLB. Probably right around the 8 or 9 spot, maybe even 7. He's only gotten better, and especially I know offense is not something that's easy to teach as defense, but McCann has proven that his offense can be very consistent and it can be very solid at times. You look at the last 2 seasons combined. I don't think he played more than 150 games, but about 23.
Can you blame him? You got Grandal. How's he gonna play?
Yeah, also exactly, but the fact that he split time and his numbers were still very good offensively. He had 7 home runs. He had a batting average around 285, I think. He had I think what was it 20-something, 30-something RBIs. I think over the last 2 seasons he's around the 85, 80 RBI total with 23 home runs, a batting average right around 275, 280 to 285 maybe even. And he's getting better defensively. He's showing he's trying to do that. And I think that coming into an organization that is just wiped their house and trying to get also the new GM that not going to talk about that, but the Mets also acquired Jared Porter to be their new general manager with a lot of experience. I'm very ecstatic about that move as well. I think they're bringing in the right guys, and I think that maybe they'll look for some veteran leadership also to teach a guy maybe on a more defensive standpoint to work with James McCann on getting better defensively. But again, I love the pickup, and I think that they'll benefit from it.
Yeah, certainly not the best catcher, but a very good one to have.
The second best on the market right now.
Now with no, it's JT, but yeah.
Second best on the market right now is what I said.
JT. Yeah. Anyway, even though you didn't get JT, he's still pretty good, and now they could use more money for a more top tier guy if they pursue one of those guys. Now it's better business that way. We'll see what happens.
Yep.
So that's the first free agent signing that we're covering, and there are 2 more. So number 2, this is a guy I've enjoyed watching, but I feel like he's a bit overlooked because of where he plays. This is a man named Drew Smyly, and he just signed a 1-year, $11 million deal with the Atlanta Braves. And this is actually pretty exciting because, I've very much enjoyed Drew Smyly's game, but I feel like he was very underappreciated because he played for the Giants, and they've been kind of a joke the past few years. So he hasn't been able to really show off his stuff. And now with a very improved pitching core in Atlanta, they just got Morton, on top of that stacked rotation. So, Josh, what is your reaction to this signing?
As a Mets fan, I hate it. But, if you're a Braves fan, you should definitely be excited. He's shown that he can be very, very good in the past, back when he was with Detroit on that 2012, that 2013 time of year.
With Scherzer, Sanchez,
Verlander. Yep. He's definitely he definitely has what it takes. He's got a good amount of experience, and I think it's been a while, obviously since he hasn't been exactly on top contenders recently,
right.
Playing with the Giants. But I do want to just point out the Giants were not super far away from a postseason spot in 2020. It was a weird year, but the reality is that they weren't. And I think, pitching with a guy in that rotation like Kevin Guzman, excuse me, and Johnny Cueto, who still is not the same pitcher he was, but has also been in very, very on very, very good teams in like some of the highest levels to play the game of baseball. I think it's a good pickup to a young core. He's more of a veteran at this time, I would say, and bringing in him and Charlie Morton, I honestly think the Braves could not have made two better signings than the ones they have in this pitching core. Because they've gotten guys who have been there in the past. Morton just went to the World Series with the Rays this past season. Smiley's been there with the Tigers in the past, and both of them are not, they're not the best pitcher you're going to find, but certainly not the worst, and definitely are still serviceable. Who can both of them are definitely going to make an impact on this team around the young guys like Ian Anderson, like Max Fried, Mike Soroka. The list goes on and on still. And I hate it as a Mets fan because the Braves are only getting better and they're still trying to. They're already a powerhouse, but
They were that close to the World Series, so they just they don't want to give up.
They were one win away and they just couldn't pull it out.
They want to go over the top, and they're hoping these moves can do that for them.
Yeah. And like as a Mets fan, the Mets are trying to get better. I just spoke about how they brought in Jared Porter as their GM and James McCann more, but it's scary because they're trying to keep par now with the Braves and they're not already. And the Braves are pulling back ahead now by acquiring these two guys in Morton, which was a while back. We spoke about that, but now Drew Smiley. It's really scary as a Mets fan to see how good this team is still trying to be, not at their full potential, and they're already really good. So, but yeah, I like the pickup for the Braves.
Yep, that's the second signing, and this one is a little bit out of left field for me. I don't know if you recall this one, but a little boy in the AL East wanted to leave his team, and he decided, I'm going to play in the same division, but for a team that would probably utilize me more because they need me more than the team I am with now. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about Hunter Renfroe signing with the Boston Red Sox on a 1-year deal worth I forgot what it was. I think 3.1 million. Right. He's coming back home because I'm pretty sure they're the ones that drafted him. Yep. See, originally drafted by the Sox in 2010. So, he's trying to show off his worth. What do you think of this?
What I think is that the Red Sox probably will not be going for George Springer anymore. If they wanted to sign Renfroe, I still would have said that Springer was probably the top guy the Red Sox were looking for, considering Jackie Bradley Jr. is still a free agent. But I do like the pickup from Renfroe. And in the postseason, while he wasn't exactly the most clutch with the bat as he was supposed to be, or as he was projected to be coming into the Rays organization, that's why they traded for him. They wanted a good power bat in the outfield. He really played a lot better defensively more than he did offensively. And he had his moments. He had a grand slam in the first round when the Rays routed the Blue Jays. He had some big hits in the World Series, especially a home run in one of those games the Rays came back for just one period against the Dodgers. And I'm going to say that I don't mind the pickup at all. I think that he's definitely a corner outfielder, if not a DH. I don't think that I think that maybe this kind of opens the option back up for the Red Sox, that maybe they'll look back into signing Jackie Bradley Jr. I don't think Springer exactly has the intention to go to Boston anymore after this signing. I think that he's definitely more interested in any of the other teams that have probably been talking to him, like the Blue Jays or the Mets. And especially he's a right-handed bat coming into a place that, yes, the Green Monster is there, but it's not exactly one of the farthest left fields out from home plate distance-wise. So I like the pickup, and I like this Red Sox ball club, and he's still a pretty young player. You got Renfroe, you got Alex Verdugo out in right field. You still have Andrew Benintendi, who has shown what he can do at times. And, they still have Xander Bogaerts, who's great at shortstop, I think, and Rafi Devers also. If they get, if they make a move in the pitching staff, they could be back in contention. I like the pickup of Renfroe. He's a good pickup, I think. He's not going to cost them so much money either. I'm interested to see where this goes with Boston.
Yeah, it's no secret the Sox suck this year. No secret, And this is big for them. Like it's not going to make them like the same as 2018, but it's going to change them. They're
Yeah.
definitely going to be better because they're getting a guy who was on such a stacked team that they didn't even know how to use the guy properly. I was like so annoyed how like they would constantly switch players at positions. They'd have players who wouldn't even play half the time. Margot, Zunino, Brasso, and Renfro constantly switching out. Nobody had a guaranteed spot on that team, at least not on the hitting side. So it's just like this guy, they're going to set him up somewhere. Either they'll put him as their DH, right? If they have a problem with JD or not. But
Yeah,
if they keep
and
JD,
he's improving defensively. Also, he showed that in
right,
the postseason this
which
this
means that
past.
they probably want him in the field, and he's a corner guy. So I don't know. They might ask Verdugo to stay in center, and they'll
Yeah,
put Ren in the right. But very interesting to see what they're gonna do here. Very interesting. And yeah, those are the three big signings happened recently, and I think we are ready to move on. You agree, Josh?
yes, I definitely would.
Okay, so we're doing things a little bit differently. Even differently than the week before. Last week, instead of just recapping some matchups, we did some pick'ems. And well, not going into too many matchups or pick'ems, we are going to do a playoff picture. Before we get into that, I gotta talk about one game. Because this game, if I was betting man, I would lose a lot of money. Because there's no way I thought that this was gonna happen. What game am I talking about? I am talking about freaking Monday Night Football. Last night, this was a game. There were a few upsets that really shocked me, but this one was crazy. I'm talking about Monday Night Football, the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Bengals. And I was really mad because if you look at the score, the Steelers lost. A Steelers who had only 2 losses on the whole season lost to a team that
Also
had
beat this team before, second
right.
time.
They beat this team already with Joe Burrow. I'm pretty sure, right?
Yep.
Lost to a team that had only 2 wins on the season, had no quarterback playing, injuries galore, and lost to like a third, fourth string quarterback. What the hell are you doing, Steelers? What? You think, you clinched the playoffs and that's it? That's it?
They might not even win their division right now if the Browns can,
That's the stupid thing. It doesn't matter. They're making the playoffs anyway because they get the wild card no matter what. Maybe not no matter what, but like probably, most likely, because I don't know. Like, but this team, I never said this team was bad, but I said I didn't think they were the best. I think they were very cocky. Everybody knows how that bitch Claypool was like, losing? Never heard of it. Okay, Claypool. Now what are you going to say? 3 weeks in a row. You never heard of it? I think you know it. I think you know it pretty well now.
it's also not like they've fallen to the strongest of teams. Like the Washington football team, okay, at the time they were playing good football, fine. But they're still not that great a team. It's really just that
They
pass
lost
that
to a guy
offense.
with one leg. Barely a leg.
Yeah, like okay, fine, we'll give them that. But then week 2, the Bills, fine. The Bills are great.
Those are a
They
good
still have
team.
a chance to win
Those
the
are a
top
good team.
seed in the AFC. I don't think it's going to happen, but they knocked off the Patriots for first place. That I thought that was going to happen a while ago, but now that they've officially clinched that division, or that they've officially knocked the Patriots out and have clinched a playoff spot, good for them. They're a top contender. They could seriously go all the way this year.
I don't
I
know about
don't
that.
think
I think there's still a team in Kansas City that
right.
might have
But
something
I'm
to
saying
say
though, for
about that.
purposes of
But
who
they
this team lost,
definitely have a shot at the AFC Championship if the
they have
Steelers
it.
don't get there.
And then this week you had the Bengals, who, as you mentioned, not only not Joe Burrow, but also I forget the first name, but no Allen, right? The first name I forget.
No, Brandon Allen, I think.
Brandon Allen. Kyle Allen's for the football team, but
Yeah.
no
And
Brandon Allen.
if you remember freaking Finley on what's it called? Like toward the end of the game, like this is supposed to be like the best defense in the league, right?
Yep.
Right?
And they
They're
got
supposed to
27 points given up to a third string quarterback.
No, but like what happened? Like Bud Dupree gets injured and that's it? Like that's it? Like your defense just collapses when you don't have Bud Dupree? What happened to TJ Watt? What happened to Cameron Hayward? You know? What happened? I just don't understand. What is going on in your city? You're supposed to be the Steelers. You're supposed to be the team that wins. Yeah, look at Ben put his head down. Look at that. And look at this. Look at this play. You see this play in the corner? This is what you did. You let this fourth stringer get past you and score a touchdown. You got smoked by this guy. What the hell? This is supposed to be the best defense in the league. I don't understand what you're doing. What are you doing? It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's look, it is what it is, but I do want to point out some bright spots on the Steelers. Benny Snell, who played in the absence of James Conner, who was out again. Good night for him. 18 rushes, over 80 yards and a touchdown. He averaged nearly 5 yards a carry. That's great for a guy who's not normally used to getting much action, really. And also on the receiving,
That's it.
Deontay Johnson also. Deontay Johnson
on the rushing, it's like the only rushing touchdown is by a guy that got only one more yard than the Bengals guy. And that guy got a touchdown along with their quarterback who rushed for 47 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah. And I also want to point out on the receiving end, though, Deontay Johnson was, I know, only 59 yards, and 23 yards was the longest of all 8 catches he had. But, I mean, he still had a pretty nice game. 59 yards and a touchdown on 8 catches. He had over 10 targets. That's pretty serviceable. But Chase Claypool, no. Benny Snell, even, he was on the receiving category. He had, with that, he had over 100 scrimmage yards. Good for him. He was great. But the guys who really just fell out the window were Juju and Chase Claypool and Eric Ebron. But I mean, Ebron got injured, so I don't know if we could really count that. But
no, but it's ridiculous. Juju gets only 15 yards, and a guy on the other team that gets one less yard than him gets a touchdown to show. Well, that's what he has to show for it.
Yeah, and the Bengals did this. I know, third-string quarterback who ran a lot, or fourth-string quarterback who ran a lot, but they did this without Tyler Boyd for most of the game. They did that too.
Yeah.
Just want to point that out.
Yeah,
Boyd is probably the top wide receiver on this team. It's not AJ Green anymore.
And it's weird because the defense
made some big plays.
They still had
Von Bell just completely pummeling Juju Smith-Schuster last night on one of the first plays of the entire game.
Yeah, it's weird because their guy Watt still had a sack and it didn't matter. Didn't matter at all.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
There was only one sack for the Bengals the whole night, but you know what? They earned this win. They really did. It's not like the Steelers played down to their competition and the Bengals barely hung on. Like the Bengals, I thought from the start of the game were gonna win it. The way they came out, the way they played defensively. As soon as I saw that hit from Von Bell and Juju Smith-Schuster, I thought the Steelers were gonna lose. I'm not gonna lie. That's exactly what I thought. You know what? I didn't watch the rest of the game after that, but waking up and seeing the highlights this morning, I wasn't exactly surprised to see that the Bengals won.
Yeah, this team's going down, man. This team better get a grip.
Yep.
Because, damn. Whatever. Let's just do the next segment of our thing. So we want to do an NFL playoff picture. So, Josh, why don't you break down how we're going to do this?
Okay. So, basically, obviously, I think it's pretty simple that the top team in each division, maybe not the NFC East right now because that's still somehow up in the air, but regarding the NFC and the AFC's divisions, we'll break it down, top team in each conference. Sorry, not each conference, in each division. Pick one from the division, why they are going to why we think they'll have success in the playoffs. And that's pretty much it.
Meaning we do one of each or we pick one conference?
No, and at the end of the whole breakdown, we'll each go with our Super Bowl contender from each conference. I know we did this a while back, but that was really only with I think 5 or 6 weeks into the season, maybe 7 or 8 weeks into the season. We're 2 weeks away from finishing this season right now. I think it's a lot more clear right now because certain teams have completely fallen and completely risen since then. So I think it's fair to do it now. And
okay, so let's get on with it. Go ahead, Josh.
Okay. All right, so I think it's pretty clear. I'd like to believe the Bills are going to win the AFC East. I think that they're white hot right now. They've lost 3 games total. They've won 4 straight. And I know they haven't lost to exactly the strongest teams, but the Titans are a good team, right? They've also lost to, what's it called? They lost to the Cardinals on a Hail Mary. Like, exactly like, and I don't remember who the third loss was. I think that was to I don't know if you could scroll up, Joey, maybe and refresh my memory here. They lost to the Titans and the Chiefs. So, like the Chiefs are a top team, and the Bills kept that game close for most of the time. It was really just not the 49ers, the Titans game that they completely got blown out of the water. They had a chance against Kansas City, and they had a chance against, they had it against Arizona. One play is all it took. They could really be 13, they could be 12-2 right now. They're a good team, and I would not be surprised to see them go deep into the playoffs.
Okay.
And what about you? Who do you have to? I would
For that
you would-
division, it's a
Bills.
no-brainer. Buffalo's winning it. That division's trash.
Yeah,
Anyway, yeah.
the Chiefs.
I think
Yeah.
we gotta agree on this one.
Yeah, like this is a no-brainer. 13-1, and it's not like they have the easiest schedule. They just knocked off the Saints. They've beaten the Raiders, who have only 7-7 right now, but still
And now
good
they're
team.
playing the two
They've
biggest
kept it
jokers in the
competitive.
league.
You got the Saints. The Panthers played good football against them. They beat the Bucks, who are a good team this year with the coming back of Tom Brady now. Really, that only loss, I think, was just the Chiefs got a little bit ahead of themselves. And, it's just, it happens. Sometimes the mighty fall. But they've beaten the Ravens, who are a good team this year. They've beaten the Bills, who are a good team this year on the road. They beat the Patriots, who aren't exactly the Patriots this year, but still put up a fight. And they took the Chargers. Like, the Chargers took them to overtime. Like, not exactly – this team is beatable, I would say. But they've definitely sharpened up, and they've done it a lot. I don't think that
they got the humble win, the humble loss, and they decided, you know what, we're gonna change our game up.
Exactly.
People can beat us, so we're just gonna play our best game.
Yep.
That's what we're gonna do. And they're playing the two biggest chokers in the league next 2 weeks. So,
well, look, the Chargers took them to overtime last time, so
that's true. Might have something in store for them.
They came back against the Raiders. I won't be surprised to see the Chargers put up a fight against the Chiefs.
That's true.
And the Falcons have a good offense also. I know their defense doesn't have much to show for themselves, but that could also be an interesting game. I don't think the Chiefs will lose either of those, but I don't think that they'll be cakewalks for Kansas City either.
No, they won't, but they will be interesting to watch. I agree. So that's that division, obviously.
Let me ask you what you think for the AFC North. I know we just spoke about how the Steelers have not exactly been on the hottest of streaks right now, but you think they could still pull themselves back up and win this division, Joey?
Well, you look at the streaks, right? They've lost 3. Ravens have won 3. So technically speaking,
well, Ravens also, the Steelers the worst they could do in terms of what the Ravens could do is tie the Ravens.
Exactly.
And the Steelers won both games.
And they won both games, so it doesn't really matter.
Doesn't matter even if the Ravens win out and the Steelers.
So it has to be the Steelers then because they have that head-to-head. So it has to be the Steelers no matter how bad they win.
The Browns, though, could beat them out record-wise. And even head-to-head, I don't know what the rest of their division is like.
Well, they're playing the Jets, but
they could get a win this week. Easy.
Yeah, but what the hell happened to the Rams, right? We'll get into that.
That's true. That's true.
So I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I hope not, but I don't know. Maybe they lose. But I know for a fact if they win and the Steelers lose, week 17 is going to be something special.
Yep. Going to have them head-to-head with the same record. Winner's going to take that division.
Winner take all.
Yeah.
So that's going to be
fun. That's if the Steelers lose this week also. If they win, I think that they might have a better divisional record than the Browns, even if the Browns beat them.
That's true.
So we'll see about that.
So, yeah, very interesting. I don't know who to call here. I guess I'll still say the Steelers because I don't know. Because week 17, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I'm gonna mix it up. I'm actually gonna go with the Browns. I think that I know that they still have a lot to show, and they've shown a lot already. But really, that Ravens loss that they took last week, not this past week on Sunday night against the Giants, but the week before when they played on Monday Night Football, was not entirely they lost that game. Like, they made an effort and they brought it back within within winning distance. They were right around I think right around a minute away, maybe a little bit less. And, obviously Justin Tucker is Justin Tucker. He's the best kicker in the NFL. I don't think there's much question about that. He's been selected to the Pro Bowl again. The dude is almost perfect. He's immaculate from 50 yards, 55 yards plus. That's what it was. And, there are going to be those losses, but this is not the same Browns team that we had in the beginning of the season where they were playing good, but we didn't know what they could be. I think they've proved themselves as legitimate contenders. I think that they could upset the Steelers for that division.
We'll have to see.
I won't be surprised to see it.
But that's AFC North. So let's get into the AFC South because this is the closest one. So who are you going for? It's tough, isn't it?
I'm going to take the Colts on this one.
Really?
I think their defense is superior to Tennessee, but I also think Tennessee's offense is superior to Indianapolis. It's really tough to call, but ultimately I think that defense is the more important asset. I think that, the Colts offense is not bad at all. Hines has been doing a great job. Jonathan Taylor's had an incredible rookie season. Phillip Rivers hasn't really skipped a beat, especially changing systems into a completely new team. I think that, and they've beaten some real good teams also. I know the Titans have also, and they smoked the Bills back in I think that was week 4 or week 5. They also got beaten by the Browns, though. They've beaten the Ravens. They've beaten the Colts once. But the Colts have also beaten the Titans once. And it's funny how each team lost on their home field to the opposing team. But also, the Colts have beaten some real contenders also. The Colts have beaten the Packers. They've also beaten the I don't know if you have it. I think this is the Titans schedule. If you could go to the Colts. I know the Colts, they had that win against the Packers where they came back. They've beaten who else have they? They've beaten the Titans before. They've beaten the Raiders, and they didn't just beat the Raiders. They smoked them. I know, nearly a 20-point win. And I know that's not exactly it wasn't much of a game for most of it. And even the Texans aren't such a bad team on paper. They just haven't really put it together this season. Watson's great. They've had some good things coming from QT emerging, and the tight end Darren Fells hasn't had such a bad year. I don't really see that Texans team as a 4-10 team. I don't think their record's indicative of who they really are. They've put up some good fights. Also, that comeback against the Bengals, they've beaten the Bears. I think this Colts team is going to win that division. I don't think it's going to be by a landslide. It already won't be. But I think that I think it's going to be right down to the last week, and I think the Colts are going to end up on top.
I hear you, and I think it's going to be close too. But I got to pick the Titans because the Colts, to me, while they have a stout defense, that offense is super sus, very suspect. You have to understand.
Understandable.
You have to understand something. This is a team that lost to the Ravens, right? And I'm not saying the Ravens are a bad team, but this team is better than the Ravens.
Yeah.
I honestly think so. I think their defense is much better, than the Ravens' defense. And second of all, they lost to the Jaguars. They gave the Jaguars their
That was
only
week
win.
1. That was week 1. You
didn't know. I don't care.
You didn't know. You didn't know. By that logic, the Browns lost in week 1, and they lost to the Ravens, and they're better than the Ravens.
Come on, man. The Jaguars are one of the worst.
I don't think you can really compare it. It's just not I think you can. Based on my logic, I'm saying.
I don't think so because it's one thing to say week 1.
Week 1. By that logic, buddy. Okay. By that logic, also, the Saints lost in week 1. They're also a powerhouse team. They're just. I wouldn't exactly say that. The Bucks also lost in week 1. They lost to the Saints. I mean, not to the Saints. Sorry, the Saints won in week 1. The Bucks
but that's not crazy because those are two good teams. That's not a good example.
So are the Colts, though. That's what I would
say. But the Jaguars aren't. That's my point. That's what upsets me.
We didn't know the Jaguars. Okay, we didn't know the Jaguars.
A good team lost to a good team, and a good team lost to a bad team. They're not the same. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, we didn't know that the Jaguars were going to be as bad as they have been, though.
Oh, are you
Even
kidding
being as
me?
bad as
Are
they've
you
been, they
kidding
put up
me?
some
Are you?
fight.
Come on, Josh. Don't bullshit me right now. No Calais Campbell. No
Okay,
Bouye. No Ramsey. No
fair.
Fournette.
That's fair, but we
No,
didn't know what this
nobody on that team.
we didn't know what this Colts team was going to be like this season. We
Come
didn't
on,
know
you
they were
had
going
an
to be as good
idea.
as they
They
have
still had
been.
Darius Leonard. They still had other players.
Okay,
like
so even if
Mack.
you're going to say that, we know what they've done since then. If you take away that loss, they are 10-3 since that loss. Okay,
I'm
I
just
can't
saying,
say
man.
that
It's
they're
just
bad.
it's a garbage loss. Like it's not. I don't care week one. Like you lost to a team with no talent. No talent. It's just
Okay,
suspect. It's super
whatever.
suspect.
So they'll get them in week 17, and they'll probably end up destroying them.
They will, but that's weird though. That's weird that you split.
It's not
them like
that weird. I mean, like the Titans
It
have
is
exact.
though. It is though. There's no reason.
I'm not gonna debate it anymore. Just let's
I
move
don't know.
on.
Like you're defending them in a weird way. Like they lost. They straight up lost. It's like weird.
I'm not getting
Anyway,
into it, Joey.
I'm
It's
not
week
getting into it
one,
either.
and you
But they
can say the
lost
same
straight
about
up.
others.
Like they lost. You can't defend that. That's like
Okay,
garbage.
the
loss.
Niners also lost in week one. Then fine, happy. I said it, and they weren't banged up back then. That's when they had Garoppolo, and they had Kittle, and they had Mostert, and they had Deebo Samuel, and they had all those players, and they had the defense. Like
Yeah.
it's not really the same. I mean,
don't
what's
know,
going? It's exactly the same thing. And the fact they lost to the Cardinals. We didn't know the Cardinals were going to be that good in the end. You know, whatever. Let's move
Yeah,
on.
but you
Let's
still
do the
had
NFC.
Kyler Murray. You had DeAndre Hopkins. You had
Okay, it
Larry.
doesn't matter. Okay, so that's all they had though.
But they had.
Maybe Kenyon
But it's
Drake.
different, Josh. It's different. They had talent. They had talent. They had people that could win. Okay, but nobody on the Jaguars helps them win. Nobody. That's why they haven't won since.
Okay, whatever. I'm not gonna get into it.
That's all I'm saying. And second of all, Colts are playing the Steelers, so it's all going to depending on next week, not on 2 weeks, because we know that both teams are going to win in Week 17. Because the Texans, they're playing the Texans. Titans are playing Texans. They're probably going to win that game. Colts playing Jaguars, probably win the game. So it's all going to come down to next week. Colts are playing the Steelers, and Titans are playing the Packers. So it's gonna come down to that. It's gonna come down to who wants it more. So whoever wins, if one of these teams wins in that next week, that's who's winning it, because both of them are winning the week after. That's all I'll say on that. All right, that's the AFC. Let's go to you want to do wild cards?
Yeah, I think wild cards. You know,
The wild cards obviously is whoever doesn't win the AFC South. That's one of them.
So I think that the Browns,
Browns get
the Browns with the Steelers,
and isn't there's a third one this year, I think, right?
Yeah. So
that will either go to the Ravens or the Dolphins.
I think right now the Dolphins have the tiebreaker. I don't remember why, but I'm pretty sure right now they are the team in the lead.
Yeah. We'll go to the Ravens or the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the
I mean, unless somehow the Colts and Titans both end up going 10-6 and the Dolphins go 11-5, we'll see.
Nah,
but
I don't think so.
Whatever, we'll see.
But yeah, that's the AFC. So let's go to the NFC. So
yeah, the NFC. Yeah, I think that we'll save the NFC East for last because it's the most.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, NFC West.
I know I'm probably going to get a lot of crap for this, but I'm still going to take the Rams in this one.
Okay, I'm going to
they've beaten Seattle. They've already beaten those
Seahawks. I know, but even
I know who they lost to, but they beat the Seahawks, and it doesn't matter as long as they can control things within their division. Because those are the teams they have to.
I hear you, but if you lose to a team like that, you got some problems to address, and if they don't address it, they're not winning.
That's true.
So I think I'm gonna pull for the Seahawks personally.
Okay, that's fair to say.
Okay.
Packers, I think it's a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer, and then this
they're the top seed in the East right now.
Yeah, and this one's a little close.
Not in the East, in the NFC, but
yeah, and the NFC South, it's pretty close.
Yeah, this one. I mean, even if the Buccaneers tie the Saints have the tiebreaker. They swept the Bucs, but the Bucs could still get a better record than the Saints if they win out and the Saints lose out. That's the only way for it to happen. Otherwise, if they tie, the Saints have it. But I think the Bucs will definitely end up in the playoffs. We'll save the wild cards for after, but I think the Saints are probably going to win this division.
Yeah.
Because I don't think the Bucs exactly have the easiest schedule left. The Saints have taken 2 tough losses back to back. First against the Eagles on the road. In Jalen Hurts' first start.
Hello?
That was not exactly a game they probably should have lost. I know they had Taysom Hill but still, they probably should not have lost that game. And to the Chiefs, the Chiefs are the best team in the NFL right now. I don't think there's much question about that. So I think that that loss was fair.
So who are
But
you picking?
yeah, I think they'll win the division.
Who?
I'm picking the Saints for the NFC South.
It's funny because
I'm
I
picking
feel
the
like
Saints.
Buccaneers technically on paper have an easier schedule because they're playing the Lions and Falcons. But we've seen what the Falcons can do,
Right.
Yeah. Like I know they haven't been winning recently, but they still can beat. They could still.
Well, the Bucks came back against the Falcons this past week, though. And who do the Saints get? They get the Vikings and the Panthers. It's very possible the
Two
Bucks
very
might win
beatable
out while the
teams.
Saints lose out, but
Yeah, it's two very
let
beatable
it play
teams.
out.
Two very beatable teams in this case. So I think the Saints too. It's gonna be close, but I still think they have like a
I mean, two
very.
beatable teams, but I don't think the Saints will have it as easy a time as the Bucks will.
But I still think they'll win.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then NFC East. So who are you picking?
Well, yeah, let's do the NFC East. Just by it pains me to say this, but I think that Washington might end up keeping it. I think the Giants will probably get to 6-10 on the year, especially with the Ravens fighting for a playoff spot. But you know what? I'm pulling for them to win. If they win and Washington loses out, then they'll have the tiebreaker. What's it called? As long as if Washington loses out and the Giants win one more game, the Giants are going to have it over the football team because they have the tiebreaker. They swept the Washington football team this past season. The Cowboys, on the other hand,
Hello?
I believe if the Cowboys tie the Giants have the tiebreaker for a better divisional record because the Giants will be 4-2 in the division. The Cowboys already lost 3 games if they lose Week 17 to the Giants, and they got swept by Washington, and they also lost one to the Eagles. So it's not going to be too good.
So you're picking Washington.
I'm picking Washington, but
I'm going to pick the Giants. I think they'll go very close because I think Week 17 is going to be the real determinant factor here. Because I think
I'm hoping that the Giants make it in, but I won't be surprised if Washington wins that division the way they're playing.
No, I think the Giants are going to win because of Week 17 because we're playing the Cowboys, and I think we could beat them. We got screwed last time we played them. We were supposed to win that game. I know it. The refs really screwed us on that game. And the thing with Washington, they are good, but they just lost Alex Smith, and you could see that with Haskins, it's not looking good. And they're playing an Eagles team who, while everyone knows is not great, they're looking pretty good with Hurts in there. So maybe Hurts could pull an upset. Yep. I have more faith in Hurts than Haskins, 100%. I'm picking the Giants. It's going to be super close, but I'm picking the Giants because they still have if they win Week 17, they still have the tiebreaker over Washington.
They need other teams to lose, though. Let's get that straight. They need other teams to lose.
I think they will. But with that being said, with that being said, we still have some wild cards to address here. So I think Buccaneers obviously get the first one.
I don't know about the first, but I think they'll definitely get one of them.
Well, they'll get one of them. And the other two is going to be between the Rams and the Cardinals.
I think they're going to the 2 teams in this NFC West. Whichever 2 teams don't win.
Yeah. Unless somehow one of the NFC East teams also gets a good enough record to be like.
It's not possible. The only thing that's possible is that Washington could have the same record.
If Washington wins out and Cardinals lose out,
but it doesn't matter because Washington's what's it called? The Washington football team, they're going to be a first-place team if they win out. That's what's going to happen. They'll clinch the division if they win out. It doesn't matter if the Giants, Cowboys,
it's going to the Rams and the Cardinals. Those are the 3. So it's the Bucks, Rams, Cardinals. So those are our matchups.
And that order could change also, but
yes, those are our matchups, and that is our NFL segment. And we're going to move on to NHL, right, Josh?
Yeah. So
I'm going to go, and we're doing a quiz for NHL, but we're going to do a little cool one. We're going to try to name all the teams in all 4 big. I gave you control, Josh, so share your screen. All 4 in the big 4 leagues. So show your screen so I can go because I want to go. So let's go.
Okay. So again, there's not really much to talk about in the NHL right now. Obviously, with the season approaching, the stove is cold with free agents. The only thing that's really been established is that there will be a season, starts January 13th. It's 56 games, and that there's been some division realignments. but we're not going to focus.
We'll get into that next
on
week
that
if we don't do a
that's
quiz. So let's just start the quiz, Josh, so I can go.
everything. We play in the Big Four sports leagues for the MLB, NHL, NBA, and NFL. And I know that sounds like it's easy because we talk about them, but guess what? Not on paper. We have to remember them all here. And
Okay,
unless
Josh.
you know these cold, which I don't think I will, because I'm pretty weak in basketball.
All right, Josh, can you share your
It's
screen?
not exactly a walk in the park. So anyway, Joey, if you want to.
Yeah, just share your screen so I can go.
Yeah, let's do screen share.
Okay. So
All right.
I'm
Can
ready
you
to
see
go.
it?
I got a timer set for you, 12 minutes. Ready? 3, 2, 1, bye.
Yep. Okay, so again, it's just to name the 123 teams in all 4 sports leagues of Big Four. So let's start with NFL, and let's get it. Giants, we got the Cowboys. I'm going to go by division just to make it a little easier for my memorization. We got the Redskins. One called the football team. Oh, the Reds come up. We got the Redskins and we got the Eagles. Okay, then we've got. Is it in alphabetical order? That might help me with NBA. I might be able to get locations. Anyway, let's move on. So we got the Saints. Why is my thing not working? There it is. Anyway, so we got the Saints. We got the Buccaneers. We got the Panthers. Pretty sure Florida Panthers come up too. Yes. And last one's the Falcons. Okay, then we've got the Packers, the Vikings, the Bears, and the Lions. And then we've got the Seahawks, the 49ers, the Rams, and the Cardinals. Okay, so it's by team location AFC. So we got the Jets, we got the Patriots, we got it would help if I could spell. I wonder if it'll take Pats for short. Does it? It does. Okay, Pats. We got the Dolphins, and we got the Bills. First place Bills. Good for them. Then we've got the Ravens. We got the Steelers. We got the Browns, and we've got the Bengals. Got the Bengals. Okay, then it's on to the South. We have the Texans. We got the Titans. Help if I could spell. New computer here, by the way, so it's a little annoying. You use a bigger keyboard. Texans, Titans. We got the Jaguars, the Colts, and then finally we got the Chiefs, Chargers, Raiders, and the Broncos. Okay, so the NFL is done. Just check it out. Yep. And let's move on to the MLB. So we got the Mets. We got the Braves. We got the Phillies. The 4th place Phillies. We got the Marlins. And we've got the Nationals. And then Central Division. So the Cardinals have already been typed in. So have the Reds. So Brewers, Pirates, Cubs. Okay. Then Giants have typed in. We got the Dodgers. We got the Rockies, Padres, and the Diamondbacks. Okay, perfect. So that is the National League. In the American League, got the Yankees, got the Blue Jays, got the Orioles, got the Red Sox, got the Rays, Orioles, Rays, Blue Jays, Yankees, Red Sox. We got them all in the American League East. Let's go to the Central. We got the Royals. We got the Twins. Got the Indians. We got the White Sox. And we got the Tigers. And then finally, we got the A's. We got the Astros, the Mariners, the Angels, and the Rangers. And New York Rangers coming for hockey as well. Perfect. So we got the MLB all done. Let's go on to the NBA. This is going to be the toughest one. Wait, if I don't get all my goal is to get at least like 115 of these. I'll try to go by division. I'm not too strong on NBA divisions, but we got the Knicks, the Nets, the Raptors. It would help if I could spell Raptors. We got the 76ers and the Celtics. I believe that's the East. That's the Knicks division, I think. Then we've got the Hawks. We got the Heat. Got the Hawks, Heat, Wizards, Hornets, and Magic, I believe. Then we got the Bulls, Bucks, Pistons, the Cavs, and the Pacers. Okay, so we're doing pretty well. I think that's all the teams in the Eastern Conference. Let's go on to the West. We got the Grizzlies, we got the Spurs, the Mavs, the Rockets, and the Pelicans. Help if I can spell still. And the Pelicans. Okay, and then we got the Trail Blazers, the Thunder, the Warriors, the Kings. Let's see what else. What else am I missing? The Timberwolves, the Nuggets, Denver Nuggets, the Lakers, the Clippers, the Jazz, and Portland, Philadelphia. I'm only missing one NBA team. I'm doing a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Let's see. Blazers, 76ers, Jazz. The place starts with a P. Sacramento Kings. Oh, the Suns, the Phoenix Suns. Did we get them? Yeah, we did. Perfect. So we finished all the NBA. So maybe I am going to get 100% on this. I'm sure hoping for it. Okay, so let's move on. We got the Islanders. If only my thing would not stop. Oh, I didn't spell it right. Yeah. Islanders. We got the Rangers already in. The Devils, the Penguins, the Capitals. This isn't going by division. Also, but then again, it's not specific. We're missing the Flyers, the Blue Jackets, and the Hurricanes. Amazing. Then we'll move on to the Atlantic. So we got the Panthers already there. The Habs, the Senators, the Red Wings, the Sabres, and the Bruins. Amazing. Okay, let's move on to the Central Division. So we got the Avalanche, Colorado Avalanche, Nathan McKinnon, favorite player, best in the league. Probably not. Connor McDavid's better, but still very close. Avalanche, the Jets are already there. We got the Blues, Blackhawks, Predators, the Stars, and the Wild. And I think that's it. And then we've got the let's see. So the Pacific. So let's go. Kings are already there. We have the Golden Knights. If I can spell the Vegas Golden Knights, the Sharks, the Oilers, the Flames, the Canucks, the Ducks, the Coyotes, and that's it. Amazing. Okay. So 123 out of 123. I did not think I was going to get a perfect score, considering I'm not great with NBA, but I proved myself wrong there. Anyway, so I'm going to alert Joey, stop sharing my screen, and let's shoot Joey a quick text telling him that he should come back. Okay, so he's been alerted. And what time did I finish left on this quiz? 4:45, 4 minutes and 45 seconds left. So it took me less than 8 minutes to do that. Wow. Okay, so I texted him, and yeah, you're still hoping that he will come back. You know, I wonder if he saw the message. He set a timer. I'm gonna tell him I finished. Maybe he's not. Maybe he's wondering why. I highly doubt that, but we'll find out. If only the messaging system could load. Gonna tell him that I finished. I want to call out to him, but I don't think he's going to hear me through the door. Let's try it. Joey, he's not coming. Maybe if I shoot him a call, he'll answer to that. And this is calling Joey to come back. And he declined my call. So he probably, yep, there he is.
Okay, coming.
All right. So, Joey, you've got the link. I don't think you're going to need my help for spelling this time.
Well, some are crazy names if I remember.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, those Padres.
Yeah, of course. Those Sabres,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those Canucks. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So,
okay,
I have
so
you go right ahead with it. Now, hold up, Joey. I think that we should establish something, right? That it probably wouldn't be super unbelievable if we both beat this quiz, correct?
did you beat
So
the
what are
quiz?
we gonna do? I'm just curious. On the
If it's a draw, it's a draw.
I think we should do something different. I think that if we both beat it, we should do by whoever has the best time. Is that fair to say?
Okay.
I mean, like, whatever.
Yeah, I don't
I'm
know,
not
man.
gonna say whether I beat
I
it or not. I'm
consider
just
it if it's a
curious.
draw, it's a draw.
Right.
So yeah, I'm
So
gonna start.
anyway,
All right, let's go. Let's do NHL first because that's my favorite. Coyotes, Ducks, Bruins, Avalanche, Red Wings.
also hint, hint. If I called you in by the time your timer didn't go off, then you'd obviously know I beat it. So,
Or you quit.
or that, yeah. I guess that's true.
Yeah.
If that's not a hint, though, I don't know what is.
Yeah, I guess you beat it. I don't know.
Pressure's on.
Well, I know some stuff about sports. So.
Oh, yeah, I know you do, but
All right, why don't you just mute yourself for a little bit, eh? Wild Knights.
You're not confident, is what I'm hearing.
I just want you to be quiet. That's all I want. That's okay with you.
I could do that without.
Canucks, Canadiens, Maple Leafs. I know I spelled it wrong. Maple Leafs, Canucks, Canadiens, Maple Leafs, Senators. I know. Maple Leafs, Senators, Jets, Oilers, Flames. That's all the Canadian teams. Okay, Winnipeg Capitals, Penguins, Flyers, Blues, Lightning, New York, New Jersey, Minnesota Wild. Welcome back. Oh wait, Kings. And what am I missing? I'll come back to it. All right, basketball. I'm sure you did finish this quiz because you know all the basketball teams, right? Of course. Never had a problem with that. Sure.
No, I have had a problem with it, but maybe I got lucky.
I figured.
Maybe I got lucky.
Maybe. Or maybe you quit.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, Pelicans. Kings. Bulls, Pistons. Bucks. Bucks. Heat, Magic. That took me a while.
Yeah, I hate when that happens.
5 more cents.
It's like you feel like you're in the zone. You just rattle off like 500 names and you realize not one
Yeah,
of
I
them
got
has
it,
like.
Josh. I got it.
No.
Please. Yes. Got 23 left. 4 minutes. I like those odds. Okay. What are we missing here? Cardinals, Rams, Seahawks. I didn't say that. Cardinals, Rams, Seahawks. Cardinals, Rams, Seahawks, and what's that last? Fucking 49ers. Sixers. 76ers. Stupid. Philadelphia Phillies, Sixers, Flyers. I already said Flyers. And Eagles. No, I said that already. Dallas Cowboys, Dallas Stars. I already wrote Dallas Stars. Mavericks, Spurs, Rockets. Okay, good. Capitals, I said that already. Nationals, Wizards. Good timing. Seattle Mariners. Huh. Not so easy, is it? St. Louis. Did I say Cardinals? I did. I said Blues. I said Chiefs. I didn't say Royals. Cardinals. Okay. Those are Sharks. I'm missing some shitty team in hockey. I'm missing 2 or 3. What am I missing? Not the Canucks and everything. Who sucks? Who like really sucks? Who am I missing? I'm missing somebody like super obvious. Oh, I didn't say the Panthers. That's what I'm talking about, right? Sucks.
Yeah, but not the same team. I mean, not the same. What's it called? The same sport. Panthers are good in hockey. Pretty good team.
I was talking
Made
about
the play
football.
round.
Talking about football.
Oh, but you were talking about hockey before.
No, I said football.
Oh. You said you were missing some crappy team in hockey.
I wasn't talking about the Panthers. I was talking about which team was I talking about? Did I say Senators? I did. I did Red Wings. What were the worst teams? I said Sabres. I said Devils. I said all the bad teams. So Hurricanes. It's not a bad team. I just missed them.
There you go.
Yeah. I knew I was missing somebody. Man, a lot of teams.
All right, I'll give you a tip in case you haven't realized. It's by city alphabetical order. It's not by the team. I don't know if you realize that.
It doesn't matter. I have 10 left, so it doesn't make a difference anyway.
Well, good luck.
All right, just shut up for 40 seconds.
Yeah.
Blue Jays. I didn't say that. What else did I not say? I didn't say the other Toronto team. That was your name. Blue Jays, Raptors. That's what it was. Yeah, I forgot something super obvious. All right, that's it. All right, let's see who I missed. Texans, Falcons, all right, shitty teams. Don't feel about that. Hawks, shitty team. Most of these are shitty teams. I'm upset I didn't get the Predators and the Trailblazers, but I don't care about the other ones. The other ones are super shitty teams that are relevant.
I feel like you still gotta know it though. We talked about Jeff Teague.
What have the Grizzlies done in the last 3 years that are notable?
They drafted John Morant.
Get the fuck out of here! I don't give a shit about rookies. Okay, same thing goes.
So second overall pick, he was a stud.
So what? Now that I'm thinking
about the Timberwolves have Karl Anthony Towns.
The Grizzlies? You're talking about the Timberwolves.
Timberwolves.
Okay, but not the Cavs, not the Hawks, not the Falcons. They haven't done anything recent, in the last 3 years.
Bro, the Falcons, are you kidding me? Matt Ryan and Calvin Ridley have gone off this year. And they got Todd Gurley.
Oh, wow. 4-9. Oh, wow.
That's not my point. My point is, you should still know, there are
good
players.
That's players, not teams. That's players. This isn't a player.
But I'm saying that would make you think of these teams? Really? You don't think so?
You don't think of players. You think of teams, man.
Okay. I'm going to be realistic with you. My page did time out because I left it open. I got to stop doing that. But I did beat the quiz. And I'll give you a little trick. I have it on my second monitor here. But a trick that I use when I play these types of quizzes when I'm thinking about it, I don't go by alphabetical order is helpful if I'm blanking out. I have 1 or 2 teams left to complete the whole entire league. But I go by division, even though it's not organized here.
I would do that for football.
Oh, so I did that because I don't know the NBA so well, but I have an idea of where the teams are. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the Knicks division was the first 5 teams I did. It's the Knicks, Nets, Raptors, right? 76ers and Celtics, right? Something like that.
You forgot the Heat.
No, the Heat aren't in the Knicks division. They're in the conference, but I don't think they're in the same division. Is that correct?
I don't know, man. They used to be at least as I know because
No,
they
I
played.
know. But I'm saying since like realignment and all that stuff, and teams have changed locations or names or whatever, then it changes up. But that's just like that's the trick I used here. Like I walk myself through divisions, and once I can't do divisions anymore because I don't know what division certain teams lie in, then if it's alphabetical order by the team locations, then that's like the next trick I use.
Well,
Like there are tricks.
what's the lesson from all this? Be fucking relevant, Atlanta. Holy shit.
That's true.
Win a
That's kind of. I
fucking
mean, the Braves are
win a
pretty
fucking
relevant.
championship.
The Braves are pretty relevant. But
I
you
got
got
the
him, I think.
Braves, but I
Yeah, you
got the
got the Braves.
Braves. I
Yeah, that's
got them
true.
because they actually did something this year.
Okay, you also got the Royals though, and the Royals didn't do anything. You got the Tigers; they didn't do
I got the
anything.
Royals because I thought about the Chiefs. That's the only reason.
Oh, so you didn't get the Falcons or Hawks because you thought about the Braves though,
I only thought
or
about
you
the
didn't get the
Braves.
Cavs because you thought
I
about
only
the
thought about the
Browns or
Braves
the
because
Indians,
of the
or you didn't
division.
get the Timberwolves because you thought about the Twins or the Wild.
No, there's a reason. I can, if you want, I'll go over why I knew every single team I
No, I
did.
don't want to. I'm just like that's just the
Because
same
there are
fucking.
certain reasons. It's not just because of the city. That's a stupid reason.
No, I'm just that's what sounded
That's
like.
a
But
stupid reason.
look,
I got the Royals only because of the Chiefs, but that's the one of the only times I did. Other ones I knew because of things we did. The Braves, we talked about the Braves today, so I knew about the Braves. That was fresh in my mind. Point is, good game, Josh, and
93%, very respectable showing still.
yep,
You
and
smoked the average.
yeah, it was a good game, and
Yep.
we'll see you guys next week. Have a good time.